Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, I want to welcome you to the President Weekend Money Making Monday SSN Nation live stream. Economy in disarray. But a lot of you are saying, I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. It's okay, ladies and gentlemen, because the ground upon your feet, the foundation is crumbling. You won't know it yet until you fall through. So you have to be prepared to make sure that you have parachutes, that you have oxygen. You have whatever it needs once you fall through because you're going to need it, ladies and gentlemen. And the one way to do it is investment opportunities. Build your assets that pay you. And also, let's get into the credit situation because as you guys know, there's going to be 0% interest for up to, I'm making an educated guess, up to 36 months because we already have 0 to 24 months. And you want to make sure that whatever you do, as prices increase, that you have 0% interest for as long as you can on credit. That's as near as you can get to what the rich guys get. So make sure you get your credit score at 775. We have that and much more to talk about. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, down below in the description box, let's just start it off. And in the chat room, we're going to start it with smart credit because since I mentioned the credit, that is very, very important. You cannot stay behind. If you do have the 580 or the 450 or the worst credit score, if you do not get into the 700s, you will not be able to partake in 0% for at least 24 months or 18 months. Either way, anything that can give you breathing room where you don't have to pay your principal amount with your interest, where you can get nearly 100% going towards your balance over a long period of time, that is what you want. So think about it. You can balance transfer some of these things that you have nearly maxed out. Let's get real. A lot of you out there, you can sugarcoat whoever you want to, but not here in the SSN Nation. We know it's credit card limits at all-time record highs. We know 8 out of 10 citizens in the United States are living paycheck to paycheck, and 8.5 citizens in Canada are living paycheck to paycheck. And you know what both countries are doing? People are using Swipe. That's right. And you're out here paying anywhere from 0%, 24%, 35% or more. You know you can't pay that off. So what should you do? Get yourself into the 700s. In fact, you can get yourselves into the upper fives and still get 0% for at least 9 to 10 months. That would even help you. Just saying. But the deal is this. In about 6 months, I am anticipating 0% for 36 months, and you're going to need that 775 credit score. Just put yourself in position. What this does is this reduces your debt as well. And in the chat room and in the comment sections, wherever you're watching from, just make sure you put yourself into the smart credit mix. Yes, it does cost. It's a smart credit monitoring system. It does cost, but it's worth it because they do your FICO scores. They do the hiring index scores, insurance scores. Therefore, you will have opportunities to improve your credit score because they have a system in place that tells you which day of the month is the best time to make your payment to improve your credit score. That is very valuable. Also, identity fraud, identity theft is very valuable to have too, for your address that's on your credit file, plus your family members are all covered. They cannot live other locations. As long as their address matches your address, they are covered for identity fraud. So keep that in mind. That is with Smart Credit. The link is down below or in the chat rooms. Wherever you want to go, you can see it. So don't be shy out here. Now, we also have the channel name. Stop struggling now. There's a reason, because we're trying to help you. A lot of people, I know you've seen my live streams. I'm starting them off. Findhelp.org. Go to findhelp.org. A lot of American citizens don't even know this exists. I did not know it existed when Matthew Lesko came on. So I'm just going to give you guys the info because I was in shock. As many people that needed help in America over the years, a simple PSA that says, hey, if you need help, go to findhelp.org. That would have been very helpful for a myriad of things. Just go there and put in your zip code and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. From job training to healthcare to caregiving to mental health care to bus passes for down payments on mortgages and rent and energy and groceries. I mean, the list is on and on. If you live in a larger metropolitan area, the list is huge. The smaller the metropolitan area or rural area, the less amount of possibilities you will have, but you still will have opportunities. State and federal governments, you got to call up. Sometimes it's free, sometimes they charge you. So hopefully that gets you started. So everybody here, you don't have to worry. There's help here. All right. We don't have a course to sell you. All right. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. I want you to have the information so you can use your money to put it to work effectively for you. That's what we're talking about out here. All right. Now, let's see what else we got going on. EV Place is in the house. Another investor is here. Let me give you guys the SSN Nation program, just so in case you missed it, after we introduce EV Place, and welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday President's Holiday Edition live. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening. Smash that like button. Oh my. Yes, I forgot about that. Always got to say smash that like button. Give it a 1 piece, a 2 piece. Tell your friends. And if you like what we're talking about, once again, please subscribe to the channel. And also, EV Place has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate as a member of the channel. That's right. We have memberships, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you get videos before other people. That's possible, before just regular folks find it. So once again, EV Place has done the SSN Nation thing. Offshore, outside of America. That comes in different forms. That could mean that you opened a bank account outside of the United States. That could mean that you got real estate outside of the United States or a business outside of the United States. That is the staple that you need out of USA jurisdiction. There's more than one way. All right. And we're going to get into that tonight a little bit. Once again, Biznessa is in the house. I'm going to London. Oh, I love this. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday Live Edition, President's Weekend. And Biznessa is also known as the Seamless Genius is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. If you missed Friday night's live stream, then maybe you might know why she's going to London. It must have to do with those guys. Prime, private, I don't even know. Let me go pull this up real quick because I did never. Prime Wealth, I believe it is. Hold on. Let me. What's happening here? We got to have Prime Wealth Advisors in the house. That's right. Prime Wealth Advisors. She has been promoted. Thank you so much for sending me the email. Congratulations to you and your team, because I'm pretty sure it's just more than you because you like to share. So I would like to share as well. If you want to earn investment opportunities from an economy that's in disarray, never fear. 8% per week. I know it's been going down, ladies and gentlemen. And we talked about on Friday night's live stream. And what I'm going to do is put a link in the chat room, no matter where you're watching from. And I see you, MS Trimmer. I got you. Thank you so much for watching on another platform, the Instagram platform. That's right. I rebooted Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, because, we're trying to help everybody out here. 8% per week. That's right. You heard me. That's right. Now, you will need your crypto. You're going to have to upload USDT, USDC, Bitcoin, or Ethereum to primewealthadvisors.com using my link, please. That would be greatly appreciated. It's down below in the chat room. It's in the down below in the description boxes, no matter where you're watching from. So just make sure you guys get involved. And you can deposit as low as $100 to get started. They pay out weekly. Now, from what I understand on Friday night, if you loaded up your $100, let's say tonight, that means every Monday, every week, you get your payout. And one thing I know people that's going to watch this is going to go, oh, okay, I'll just let it ride. No, sorry, hold on. You have to, I don't know exactly how it works, but Biz Nessa, Seamless Genius, will put it in the chat room because we didn't get around to that, or maybe we did. But the point is, I can't remember. So therefore, all I know is it can't roll over. So in other words, you have to actually put it into your account, add it into your account. All right. Just so you understand, unlike if I invested in a dividend stock and I had dividends this week from YieldMax ETF and I'm doing the salsa dance. So then, since it just reinvests in buys additional stock, I don't have to do anything. So I have more stock. So then next Friday, then I'll probably get a little bit more of a dividend. No, that doesn't roll over. There's no auto reinvestment. You have to do it manually. So there is a reinvestment, and I highly suggest you do reinvestment quickly. That's all I can tell you right now. Quickly, because that 8% can change dramatically. And if it didn't change 32% per 4-week month, and of course, there's like 3 months during the year, I believe, that have 5 weeks, maybe 4. But anyhow, I don't count those. But the point I'm trying to make is prime wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And here's another point I'd like to make because it falls in line with the SSN Nation requirement that we started 3 years ago. The countdown ends December 31st. How did we know? We know. Now, prime wealth is using crypto. That means you're outside the United States banking system. Once again, yes, if you're in the US, you probably might use a regulated exchange. Yes, you will send it to Prime Wealth. Yes, I understand all that. But it's in crypto, ladies and gentlemen. So where you send it back down to, that's your business. Whether it's going to be Bitcoin or Ethereum, you got to pick those two. You can only deposit with USDT and USDC, but your withdrawals have to be either Bitcoin or Ethereum. So you pick where it needs to go. And by the way, Biznessa has hers, but ladies and gentlemen, it has arrived. The Banker's card is here. That's right. Banker's card is here, ladies and gentlemen. In the house. No name on the card. Biznessa, Seamless Genius has a black card, but nonetheless, they work the same, I think. I don't know. I didn't check out the black card. Post-retirement travel. Mr. Worldwide 2 is starting his tour. And not only that, we're getting excited because Mr. Worldwide 2 said, I'm thinking about investing in an upscale luxury location, Cap Cana, Dominican Republic, by Punta Cana. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, check. That meets the criteria for what I've always said, where you should invest. Always try to get the bang for your buck. What do I mean? Real estate investing, ladies and gentlemen. I highly say sit on the sidelines for a minute, but outside of America, the rules of real estate never change. If I live in an upscale luxury location, my home appreciates at a higher percentage. And that also means more money. So, in case you guys don't realize it, let's welcome post retirement travel once again. And oh, yes, thank you so much for having that icon next to your name. I greatly appreciate it. He brings the tagline: hello, all. Let's do this. That's how we do it out here, ladies and gentlemen. We do this. We don't talk about it. We be about it. We do about it. Even if sometimes we don't win them all, because we can't win them all. But we're trying to win 90% of them if we can. And every time there's an L, at least it's a lesson learned. So let's get on with it, shall we? Because that real estate luxury buy is the one you want. I can only give you guys an example. When you buy a 400, the average price of a home right now is 400 and roughly $29,000. So post-retirement travel says, this is an example, this isn't exact, but he says, well, I'm going to buy in the upscale luxury location where that home, similar square footage and all, it could be like 700,000. Well, here's what happens when there's a real estate boom. So you might be happy like what happened during the pandemic and get like 20% increase in prices. Well, see, here's the deal. 429,000 at 20% is roughly about $92,000. But that $700,000, not only will it give you 20% because the premium on luxury will probably be closer to 25, but I'll say 20, 140,000 versus around 90,000. Do you understand the mathematics? That is a huge difference. And it's compounded because the next time, like in the following year, when it went up 20% again, 2 years in a row, somebody is going to have 300 grand and somebody is still going to be nice, but they're going to be around 170 grand. There's a huge difference, and that also means a huge difference on the wealth gap because now the person that has 300 grand can sit there and say, well, let me take 100 G's off from some low HELOC loan and let me invest that into something else and still be able to do more later. Huge difference. Kids want to go to college, no problem. Huge difference when you do upscale luxury. Just saying. And it could get even greater than that because I won't even get into any more of that. But nonetheless, here we go. The company announced full airfare and lodging. They are having a conference. Oh my. Thank you again for the email, but I didn't realize exactly because I was reading it right before the live stream because, we got Mr. Brian P coming up. So I had to check the emails because we do have something else. But she is talking about, she is an ambassador for Prime Wealth Advisors, that 8% group. She has gotten back. She can put it in the chat room. All I know, it was over 14 grand. That's right. She just started about 6 months ago. I believe it was September. So that's maybe 8 months ago, 6 or 8 months ago, somewhere in there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And it's been paying every week like clockwork. No problems. And she brought a special guest on Friday as well that was in a little bit longer than her. So again, time does matter. And I do love full airfare to London. Wait, when is this? Hold on. Let's see. Wait, I forget. It was end of this year. All right, it's going to bring a winter chill jacket. Bring some umbrellas, waterproof gear. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But this is awesome to hear because I don't know what they're going to do about meeting them face to face when they have been giving people 8% per week. Unheard of. And by the way, there's the link, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be shy. Doesn't cost you anything to download it. All right. And it doesn't cost you anything to load up. Everybody gets a referral link. So check out the video on Friday's live stream. I will be making another video when I actually show people how to upload money to Prime Wealth. It'll be coming this week as well, if not tomorrow, because this is very, very valuable, because there is no way that ordinary citizens can get this type of return. So once again, giving away cars, houses, and awards. I love this company. All right. See, there's another component to this company. When I guess there's a referral link, I didn't know by the back office that there was some sort of awards, cars, houses, and if you had a certain level you get to, you get a free trip. Oh my, this is impressive. I love it. So once again, please use my link if you want to join this party. It's going to be very, very interesting. I love it. EV Place, he says, yes, which building are you in? A or B? Building A is pretty much done. They even had a gate guard. I can see both buildings from the back of Galaxy. Yours has Golf View, correct? EV Place. Oh, post-retirement travels asking. Okay, I thought it was reversed. Um, that's interesting. Hold on. Let's see. Wait. Hey, post-retirement travel. Anything going on in Connor Rock Universe? B's construction side. Okay, did I somehow? Oh, okay, I went prematurely. Yes. Which building are you in, A or B? A is pretty much done. They even had a gate guard. I can see both buildings from back of Galaxy. Yours has a golf view, correct? Okay, there we go. DIM Pals. I know he's been doing the salsa dance because he does the right thing by making investments, and he invests in the stock market, and it's been so volatile, up, down, up, down, up, down. That is what we love, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a trader, in my opinion, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And once again, thank you so much for being here. And he brings his tagline, good evening, stay motivated. That's what we have to do out here. You have to stay motivated, especially when you look at your bills. They're going, what? You know, it's crazy. There's people out here that swears up and down that they're like paying less money. And I'm like, how's this possible? All your property taxes risen, insurance has risen for cars and homes, unless you don't have cars and homes and real estate. But even if you don't have none of that, wherever you live, your gas, electric, your bills have went up. I'm like, I don't even understand what people can say. I'm like, my bills are low. Are you talking about gas or something because it's wintertime? Of course, gas in wintertime is always a little lower than usual, but wait till another 2 months. I mean, this is crazy right now. So, anyhow, a lot of people are in disarray out here financially. So, we're trying to get you guys on a course for success. And there's a few opportunities. DIM Pals, once again, very happy to see you. Hopefully, all's been going well. MDA0214, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Another investor's in the house, and he's given the cautionary tale. Don't be the last one holding the bag. MDA0214, he's saying exactly how I have felt about anything that does this type of return has ultimately meant somebody's holding the bag. He is absolutely correct. But so far, Prime Wealth Advisors has been thrown down for nearly a year by somebody that was with Vanessa Comagate on Friday night. Sorry, I used a name. Seamless genius, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there we go. So here we go. All right. Yes, congrats, boss, on your card. Exactly. Now we got to get back to the card situation because what it is, we talked about getting real estate offshore. We talked about getting bank accounts offshore. Well, see, this card right here is from Mexico City offshore, ladies and gentlemen. That also means if I download, which by the way, this is a crypto card, I download the crypto to it, it's outside of America. So I can use a regulatory agency in the United States to upload to my bank's account. I don't really care. Yes, they know I sent money up there. So what? I'm sending it elsewhere when I make my money. And by the way, since you can refer other people, I should give you guys the referral link. And also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you should not miss tomorrow's Zoom call by Bankus. All right. It's going to be in the chat room also. So let me grab this link right here. I'll put it in the chat room. You guys, seriously, put an alarm for either the 2 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Eastern because you can refer other people. Just like I have referral links right here, go over there, at least download the app. All right? It's that simple. There's more to the story, though. There's more to the story with the Bankus cards. The situation is that if you live in another country, if your kids at college, it does not matter. If they are not at home and you're having to send them money and you sit there and don't have access to their bank account and you want to use Zelle, that's fine. But if people are traveling around the world, you need a MasterCard, right? Okay, simple. And no name, by the way. No name, just saying. So, as long as they have a Bankus account, they have a digital card as well. So that it can at least help you make online payments. But you got to order the card, whether it's metal, which is $100 now, it's $85 plus $15 shipping, or this plastic card. And I like tap features. So there we have it. That's $35 plus $15 is $50. So again, go over there, order up your card, and let's get to it because you need to tell friends of yours that live internationally and oftentimes work in America but send money back home. You have a couple of ways that you can do this. If you don't want to keep sending crypto direct, and that could be, depends on the person if they have access wherever country, whatever country they're in. But again, MasterCard works everywhere. You can get a PIN number for your card. So therefore you can go to the ATM machine and withdraw cash. And of course, it's going to be based on the maximum you can take out of the ATM machine. The other thing is you cannot do a cash advance, which I'm not mad. The reason why you don't want to do a cash advance is because there's no name on the card. So you can't get one. That's the first thing. But the real deal is I don't like the government tracking. I find it very, very interesting that a government that prides itself or used to pride themselves on freedom, no taxation without representation, they have no problem with taxing without getting anything in return. And they have no problem about stripping you of your freedoms. So when a country acts like who they are, you might want to be worried about stripping them of your bank accounts, as some people have. So let's get into it. PRT, I'm in B. EV Place, another, another investment of real estate. Gotta love it. Golf course view, galaxy side. Okay, that's better than nothing. Ocean view, golf course view, lake views, pool views, not in that order. Ocean views number one all the time. Partial ocean views number two. Just saying. There's a toss up between golf view, which it's weird because I've always called it scenic view, but golf view, lake view depends on the customer. They rank those. Those are ranked pretty close depending on if a person's into golf. You just say golf view, they say, okay, cool. A person that says, oh, water, lake view, cool. I'll take it. So those are kind of like along the same lines. Then you go to pool view, and then some people do like scenic view if there's such a thing at your place, right? Where you don't have a view of anything, you just view. City view is a thing, oftentimes in big cities like New York, Honolulu, Miami, things like that. But that's not top on the list. That's not even one, two, or three. Let's get real. All right. And usually those rooms cost less. Let's understand what we're talking about here. So, anyhow, either way, you're out at a place called Macau. It has the appropriate address, but will Kana Rock and that whole hard rock scenario change over time? I think there will be a change some way, somehow, because we cannot be charging people $125 a person because they own condos there to go into the Hard Rock. Somebody needs to make a deal. Big time. What's good, everybody? Says Joe Nay. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday President's Edition live. And he says, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody is well. What's good with you, man? He's also done the damn thing. He says offshore, ladies and gentlemen. He did it as well. So there we go. There's a lot of people choosing to make a decision saying, you know what? Let me chill offshore a little bit. Just let me relax. Let me get my stuff over somewhere else, chill out. We'll see what unfolds while I'm over here lounging, living the island life. Joe Nay, thank you again for being in the house. Very nice to see you. Post-retirement travel. He says, EV Place, I saw them working on Building B. I took pictures. Send Eric your email so I can send them to you. You guys, I think you have each other's emails. But if you don't, I have his email. Yes, this is true. Thanks, PRT. Eric has my email. Appreciate it. Yep, that's it exactly. All right, I've been it longer than Maury. He's my client. It's in October through November. I'm ready. They do it once a year, people. There we go. Okay, I thought Maury was in before you. So October through November. Wait, what? Client, it's in, October, November. I'm ready. They do it once a year. Okay. Well, there's one thing we didn't touch about on Friday, and I didn't even get it. I didn't even see it in the back office, even though I had no reason to go pay attention. But it didn't mention these levels that you, if you refer people, there's levels and all this stuff. Where do we go find that out at? But again, use my link, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to sign up with the Prime Wealth Advisors. That's where she's getting her free trip from. But again, make sure you do your own studying, do your own due diligence. All right? Because you never know. Everybody has to feel comfortable with their own investments. So don't be shy out here. All right. I was there in November in Building A, apartment, just checking progress. Man, Galaxy, all these guys, they're going to be done, what, end of the year? Eric, please send me EV Place email. I'll send you an email now to remind you. Thank you so much, man. I will. But I think you have his email already. I'm pretty sure. All right. Before I forget, um, we got recalls, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. We have recalls. Let me put a link. Let me put a link. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Let's do it this way. Wait, where's his email? There it is. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. All right. I'm doing this in real time, actually. No problem. I'm going to send you his email right now. No message, just a reply. Yeah, here it is. It's coming in a minute. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Real time. I forgot I have blockers. Okay. Okay. All right. It's coming. Post-retirement travel. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, post-retirement travel, click on his icon because he has a website. I don't know if he's downloading videos yet because he's going to go on his worldwide tour too. So we will see if he's going to post something up there for everybody to see. So make sure you go show some love. And also on Instagram, post retirement travel, go over there, show some love. All right. It's that simple. I always got to say, show some love. All right. Let's get back into it because we got investment opportunities out here, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Don't forget about that. The bank is Christian Canapas. Welcome again. I didn't see you the other night. Uh-oh. That wasn't supposed to happen. I sent, oh, that's not good. Uh, I didn't see you the other night. I mean, I saw your name, but it didn't register until after the live stream was for like a couple of hours. So, Christian, I hope all's going well, man. And hopefully everything's going well with Conopos, podcast, and all that. Let me know. Make a comment down. Let me know everything's going well. And if you're still in the DR, doing your thing. All right. Now, I got to put in the Bankus app, also other platforms too, while I'm at it. So you guys can get in on this as well. Just download the app, whether you're iPhone or Android. All right. Don't be shy. Tomorrow, set your clock 2 p.m. Eastern time or 8 p.m. Eastern time. Get on the Zoom call. They answer questions. All right. They talk, they answer questions, they tell people what's going on. So they'll stay there until everybody answers. Just saying. That's highly unique these days. So, because people can ask any question. Looks like Chinese EV tech might reach U.S. shores. Yes. Ford is asking the administration to allow the Chinese EV tech and Chinese automakers into the U.S. Um, it's over. Yeah. I don't know what to. I, it's over. I mean, this is what happens when you tell somebody, F you, we're going to take away the technology. We're going to make sure you can't read, write, or do nothing. They figure out a way to do it. It's simple. Same thing. They said, okay, we won't use Google no more. We'll do our own software. Now America goes, oh no, we can't allow these guys in our country because it's their software. They're going to take your information. Meanwhile, we have Elon Musk at the time going down, getting everybody's information, social security even. I mean, this is like wild stuff. Oh, we're worried about somebody getting your info. Meanwhile, the United States and their social media platforms are giving our info to everybody and who's who, and have been breached several times over the last 15 years, and probably as I speak right now. And these guys are saying, oh, I'm worried about China getting your info. I'm just like, you guys got everybody's info. You're leaking it. What are you talking about right now? Oh, I'm going to be worried because they have my address just like you guys. I'm going to be worried they have my picture just like you guys. I'm going to be worried that somebody can sneak into my account and then I have to call and have identity theft fraud and cancel all this stuff and all that, just like you guys. I'm just like, what are you talking about right now? I was like, the reason is they keep everybody scared so then you guys don't benefit, meaning the American people, because you know good and well if there's an EV that's better than any EV we're selling for 90 grand and they're selling it for 25 to 30 grand, you can't allow that in the United States because you will never sell an EV for over 50 grand when you see what's coming from China. This is crazy. So they're going to go what Trump has said, 100% tariffs. Well, then why do that? That doesn't even make any sense. The only reason it makes sense is because they have to make the price equal the Americans' price. So the US consumer gets screwed. That's how it works. All right, enough. I'll start getting on this. But yeah, that's the whole point about this. Ford is going over there because they probably have a deal. Because Ford's sitting there going, well, why are we trying to make a new EV when we can just have them already made for like 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand? The question really should be, why wouldn't a United States car company, why wouldn't they just partner with China and then just put the American car manufacturing tag on the car? Come on. This doesn't even make any sense to me. Because if China really wants the market, that's what I would have done. I would have said, hey, man, you're just going to have to give up the tech, just like what you guys did with us. You got to do to get it in our country. You're going to give up your tech. We're going to build it in America. And that way we can sell it for 30 grand. I'm like, okay, okay, enough. Enough. Joe Nay always gets me in trouble when he does these things because we crossing borders, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you smash the like button. I mean, if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. All right, here we go. Joe, Nay, construction is hot and heavy over here in the DR, Larimar, Cruise on Land, Atlanta, City Place, Macau. Yes, it's hot and heavy. But unfortunately, Joe, Nay, by the way, I can't get into it, but I will. There's more projects that are delivering this year, hotels and condos, villas, townhomes. So when by the time these places come online, which are late, they're just going to be added into the pool. Another 1,000. In fact, between Larimar, Cruise on Land, Atlanta, that's like, and City Place, you're talking about 2 to 4,000 units. Not saying all units are going to be short-term rentals, because by the time these things get built, short-term rentals are going to be in a whole nother category. There's going to be so many people who purchased 4 years ago, 5 years ago, under the impression that they were going to do short-term rentals. Now you're going to have an overload of all these short-term rentals, like even downtown, City Place, and Saya. Okay. There's other places. Central Park is not even done with their second phase yet. Nor is I can't remember the name of the other places. But uh um uh what's the one that's across from Coco Bongo? Can't remember the name of that one either. That's not done. I mean, all these places are going to come online, and this year and next year and the year after, we're talking about thousands of units. Thousands. So, and there's all these people, not all, but out of these, let's say 5 to 10,000, there's going to be at least 30 to 40% of these people that's going to say, I want to do short term rentals. So, just in Punta Cana alone, you're going to be adding like 2 or 3,000 units over the next 3 years. Never mind over the whole island. Over the whole island, it's probably going to be another 20,000. So, where are you going to get all these customers? Is all I'm saying. And these guys who are all late, they're just contributing to the downfall. Thanks, Eric. You're welcome, man. That's the way I look at it. Prices are going down on some completed units and projects. Yes, Joe Nay, as we figured. This wasn't rocket science, and this is why you should wait right now, ladies and gentlemen. There is no reason to do any pre-construction, enter into any contract. There is no reason. Joe Nay has said it best. The things that are being delivered are below the next phase. The prices people are selling for are below the next phase pricing because they got theirs delivered. They are finding out, effed around and found out that they're like, wait a minute, I thought I was going to be able to do what the realtor told me, what the broker told me, that I was going to be able to get 75 to 85% occupancy rate. Under that scenario, I would have made 6%, which again, I question the 6% to 8% nonsense, but okay. So here's the thing. Now that they had delivery, now that they're finding out, oh no, it's not 6%. I got to pay to make sure this stuff goes because it's around 50%. And I had to pay 25% management fee. So all these things add up. And then people find out, oh man, I'm only getting like 35% occupancy. Sure, some are getting 75, but that's not the norm. The norm is less than 35% is the norm occupancy rates. So you better figure out before you decide to go buying and hunting around looking for that short-term rental, you better be able to figure out, can you operate, or do you want to take a headache and operate at 40-45%? And the only way that's going to change, I've already made a video, but I'll reiterate now, you need more visitors. Not some fugazi numbers either. You need real visitors. And the problem is, let's just keep it real. Whatever number they give you, just remember. So if they say it's 8.9 million visitors this year, good. Only 7.9, roughly, approximately, are adults that could actually stay in hotel rooms over 18 or over. So actually, this starts putting into perspective. If you go 7.9, that's individuals. We don't know what the average number of people come together. So If it's 2, then now you can understand where the problem starts, right? You're down closer to 4 million couples would be able to rent during the year. And again, I'll do numbers for you so it's nice and simple. That equals 35,000 couples or 2 people traveling together during the month. Sorry, that's is that right? Yeah, I think that's probably right. But anyhow, you divide that by each week, you can start seeing 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, which I'm pretty sure I messed up the numbers, so I have to go over again. 4 million is 350,000. All right, per month is what you need. 350,000 divided by 4 is a little under 90,000. Guess what? There's 140,000 units between hotels and short-term rentals. 50,000 short. So if you don't have a high occupancy rate, then you can't have high occupancy for short-term rentals. Because number one is hotels. And last year they did 75% occupancy. That's it. 75%. The hotels. And they're adding another 6 to 10,000 units this year. And Airbnbs is adding another 6 to 10,000 themselves. I think it's going to be closer to 5 to 7. But nonetheless, it's double digits. Where are you going to get these extra people from? It's going to be very difficult. So be very, very careful. And you have to be strategic at it now. This before you could just pick something 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago because you had the appreciation factor. Now, the appreciation factor is only built in from pre-construction developers. The people that are getting theirs delivered or have had their units delivered, they're not selling at the developer prices. They're selling below developer prices because you have to buy. They don't have 30-year mortgages. And their loan rates are 8% for like 1 year to 5 years. And after that, it jumps to 12, 13, 14, 15% adjustable rate loans. So you have to come with cash. You know how many people have cash? 8 out of 10 million, 8 out of 10 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, so they don't have cash. Canadians, 8.5 out of 10. Those are the top 2 countries that came over there over the years at roughly 60% of all tourists to the island come from these 2 countries. And if you have all these people living paycheck to paycheck, that means you're going to have a reduction of United States and Canadian citizens who are the ones that would be investing the most. So now you've lost a significant number of people that previously were going to invest because now the prices are no longer 70, 80, 90 grand for a 1-bedroom inside of Istacana. No longer a 2-bedroom you can get for 109, 120, a penthouse for 130, 125, 120, 2-bedroom penthouse for 120, 125, 130, 105. Can't do it. Not going to happen. Those things are 250 now. So now what are you going to do? People are going to spend 250? Bad news. You can invest in a lot of hell, you can invest in Dubai if you want to do that for 250. I mean, that's where this goes. So anyhow, enough about that. Let's get into something else, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Let me see what's going on. If Christian is giving me anything back, he's joined. Thank you so much, man. Nice to see you once again. Like I said, hopefully no comment from Christian so far. 19 grand for some brand new mid-sized Chinese luxury soon here in Punta Cana. Exactly, Joe Nay. Exactly. People don't know. American citizens don't know that they have 19 grand EVs in China. This is why they can't have them in America. Can you imagine you go into a car lot and they're going, oh, yeah, have this 30K EV that gets like a 200 miles, 185 miles. People would be losing their mind. And you do realize that the payments would be small as well. See, that's the reason why because the American car companies, poof, just like it's 1970s, when those guys didn't get to handle business prematurely like they should have, just like now. American car companies are behind the EV. Just like when Toyota, Datsun, Nissan, which was Datsun, Toyota, Honda, how they infiltrated in the 1970s due to the oil crisis. And everybody, they had the 3 cylinders, the 4 cylinders getting 30, 40 miles, 50 miles per gallon. Meanwhile, the American car manufacturers were like, F the United States citizens. We don't have to do anything. They'll keep buying from us. And the US citizens said, have you lost your mind right now? Their cars are cheaper, better quality, gets better gas mileage. Why am I? And so the rest is history. And once again, outside of America, car manufacturers have cars at a less price. Now, I will have to say, 19 grand car, I'm a little bit skeptical about what happens if I actually hit somebody else. What's this stuff made of, right? But we will see, because actually they're probably the world's number one for steel. So that shouldn't even be a problem. All right, let's go. Joe Nay, exactly. That's exactly right. Oh, by the way, if you are in DR, this is why I said get your furniture from in Punta Cana, that is Opeen, Oppein, Opeen Furniture. Tell Joel, Eric, SSN Nation sent you. Just say, hey, because you can get your own manufactured, specially made furniture. They're out there selling you furniture packages for 25, 30, 35, 40 grand. You can go over there for less than 10 grand, especially for the condo guys. 1 bedroom and 2 grand. You could have specially made your own style to fit your place, your own colors and everything. You know why? Because Dominican Republic and China, they actually trade with each other. So in 90 days, measurements, colors, everything shipped from China to DR. Specially made for you. Oppein. Furniture, Punta Cana, and there's somewhere else too, but Punta Cana. And let Joel know SSN Nation sent you, okay? He's cool. Okay, when I was on the island 10 days, I met at least 5 people, couples who were moving from the US. Exactly. 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 This is exactly what's going to happen. This is why the United States came up with new rules, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're getting a little bit off, but I have to explain because we have people watching that doesn't understand the dire situation, why the SSN Nation talked from 3 years ago telling you to get your stuff outside of USA. The US now says Social Security or any monies that's leaving the United States, they're going to try and block. Hold it up. It's happening already to a few people because they want to know your information. I can't even remember what it was. Um, 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 yeah, it's cut off, ladies and gentlemen. For some people, they want your info. And so that's why some people came up with, well, I'm going to open up a Charles Schwab international account. And I'm like, why? That's still trackable. Charles Schwab is not your friend. I mean, as far as financials, they're going to give your information to the US. Because you're sending money outside the United States, ladies and gentlemen, directly. So if you're sending it from your bank account to another, not a wire, so to speak, but you're sending out money to another, your Social Security or government uh, payments are going directly to another country, they're making you jump through hoops now. All right. Some people, not everybody, some people. So this is why I say banker's card. This is why I say offshore bank account, because they have their own debit cards that is not tied to the United States. So you make any money offshore, you can put it in your bank account. Offshore. Your debit card, you can go to any ATM machine or where the Visa MasterCard logo or ATM machines and withdraw money. USA has no jurisdiction, nor am I going to be paying taxes to the United States. Simple. So that's one of the rules. Now let's get back to the investments, ladies and gentlemen. 8% per week. Let's go. Bankers, you can refer other people and you can actually make 1% for when somebody orders the card, just so you guys know. All right. Now, EV Place. I wish you would have had a conversation that you could share with us. What did these people say when you met them? What were they looking for if they're going to move there? Because see, here's the way I look at this. The condos, I don't know how a person could actually live there because they don't have storage. Villas also do not have garages nor storage. So I'm trying to figure out how people decide how they're going to live there and where. I find it very, very fascinating in that respect. So that's a conversation I'd love to have. In fact, EV Place, everybody, we got to do a roundtable one of these days. Have people come on and explain. Maybe I should open up the mic and find out what people are doing when they move over there, how they're living there, because there's hardly any storage units. And even then, you bring stuff over or you buying stuff there, and you have to really downsize compared to the United States. Where in Punta Cana are you located? Damn, I was just there checking on my Cana Rock project, post-retirement Trump. I am also looking at investing inside Cana for long-term rental. Oh, you want to do month to month? 250K? I don't know. Can you get 2,500 a month? Some developers now are offering loans for I knew this was going to happen, 1 to 1.5% instead of buyers obtaining bank loans. I knew they were going to do this because they had no choice. This was going to come up eventually. There was no choice because basically the way Joe Nay knows better than anybody. Um, and so does a bunch of people. When you go to the bank, there everything is slow mo, and there's no way you can reach your goals damn near anytime because it's like, hey, can I get a loan? Yes, okay. The appraiser's going to come out, maybe, kinda, maybe this day, maybe not that day. Yes, we said that day, but they didn't come out that. I mean, all kind of crazy. And then people leave like you're sending paperwork in trying to get an idea. Hey, you receive it? Did you get it? No. Yes, maybe. Don't know answers. People. Then somebody else comes up and go, oh yeah, we're taking over the account, and they know nothing about it. Restarting in essence. It's crazy what's happening. I can see where this is going to be a thing because they had no choice. And my thing was, I never understood why they weren't doing this anyhow. This is what I don't get. I'm like, why wouldn't you guys just bypass in the first place? You could have just said, hey guys, we'll give you 4% interest. You can just keep paying in house and make people sign a contract because, as you guys know, this piece of paper is worth well more than their monthly payments. Because you said, I'm getting a loan. The piece of paper, whatever the loan amount is 100% of the worth that I can resell. So I never understood why they weren't doing this from the get go, but I can understand because it's new, because they have to deed the property to somebody and then they have to hold the title. So that causes some steps. And the way the banking system is there and the system is kind of, it takes a while to process things. You would kind of feel like, oh man, I don't know. But it only made a logical sense. In fact, I am shocked that there isn't like 50% of developers who are doing in-house financing. Basically just doing what Americans did in the 1950s and 40s and the 1900s and 1800s when they were getting a house. They had people that would just accept payments, or the bank would just accept payments every month without qualifying. You just hold the note. You don't own it unless you pay it off. I mean, this is no different. They're behind, yes, but anybody can sell paper. Just like right now, if you own a home and somebody comes up and you say, "Hey, you give me $10,000 and 5 grand a month, and I'll make a deal that I'm going to sell you this house for add 10% on top." You can do that right now in America. You can do that anywhere in the world. Well, not anywhere, but a lot of places in the world you can do the same configuration. There's nothing anybody can do about it. It's your own personal activity. So again, about time they get on the program. But again, like I said, I've been I can't really talk about DR like that anymore because I've given them guys all kind of information they should have used. Sometimes they used a little, but oftentimes they didn't use none of it. So here we are. They're day late, dollar short, unfortunately, because now we're not going to have the amount of tourists that's coming in because of their slow activity. All these people for the last 3 years, I mean, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years that had a problem with financing, they too get to badmouth with their family and relatives. Hey, man, I paid, put the down payment. I couldn't get financing. I had to go get my whatever, take money out of my 401k. I got hit with the 10% or 15%, whatever it is, fee. And man, it was a bummer because they told me I can get a loan and they said they were hooked up with the bank and yada, yada, yada. All that could have been eliminated. But no, they don't want to listen to nobody out there. They want to do it their effed up ways. But that's cool. That's cool. People are still winning though. That's what I love. People here in the SSN Nation still win because they bought at the appropriate time. So they're still ahead of the game. Post retirement travel. I have an Airbnb at Jardines 3 and a villa residence out by or near Primavera 4. Jonay, Jardines 3. Hey, Jonay, speaking of that, I need to send me a WhatsApp, please. I need to talk to somebody about finding out the Jardines prices. I can't find anybody that has their prices. The brokers that used to deal with Jardines, they don't have Jardines on the list anymore. So I can't get the info. Eric, at 40 to 45% occupancy, you better not have a loan. Exactly. Especially if the loan is 100K or more. If you have a loan, you better get it from equity here in USA and you will be at 9 to 10% interest. Exactly. You got that right. That's why people can't survive. That's why everybody was doing all this. They said, okay, I'm just going to get a loan in DR. That's not going to work. Then people said, well, let me get a HELOC. Okay, that's fine. But then it turned into another situation. We have some SSN Nation members that got a HELOC because the delivery was supposed to be a certain time. So now that they deployed a HELOC, then they said, okay, your delivery is going to be X amount of time. Then they got the HELOC. So now they owe money on their HELOC, but delivery got held up another 2 years. This is by eBay for one of the SSN Nation members. And to boot, they changed a little of the renderings a little bit. Not renderings, but the project itself. They changed some of the nuances of it. I mean, it still looks the same to me, but they changed the front beach area was what I was expecting. That was awesome in renderings, and they changed that a little bit. But the fact of the matter is, it's not delivered, but the person has the HELOC. So now they owe money. It's crazy because they gave them the money. It's crazy. And this is what people are dealing with. So it would have been easier the whole time just do in-house financing, show and make sure you can verify you have the title and we have an agreement. And but again, that's high risk, high rewards because now you don't have a third party. You're going to have to trust them that once you pay it, that they'll still somehow be around. All that stuff, that's where it gets kind of dicey, right? So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I agree with that 100%. Those hybrid Toyota Camrys get 50 miles from 1 gallon and still have a kick. Exactly, V Place. They got those guys have been doing things with their engines. The US, I don't even know what the US is doing. They're manufacturers of cars. I don't even know what they're doing. They've had plenty of time and plenty of help. They get subsidies. They get tax breaks. All they do is pay their CEOs tens of millions of dollars annually, pay their executive staff equally together that, and then they cut jobs. I'm just like, what are you guys doing out here? See, this is what happens when you don't have to have competition to make money. See, this is exactly why you do not have subsidies for corporations. This is exactly why you don't give them tax cuts and tax breaks. This is exactly why you don't give them free land to build manufacturing facilities, because they have no incentive, because they're getting government contracts, they're getting subsidies, they're getting your taxpayer money, you're subsidizing their energy and electric bills and their tax bills. Meanwhile, they get to have fun producing garbage stuff, in my opinion. I can't even believe these cars that they're trying to charge people 70, 80, 90, 100 grand, and they look like thin layers of metal and plastic interiors. This is insanity right now. This is exactly what the problem is. All right, construction crews have cleared all the land by Christopher and Jardines 3 and 4, and guess they have sold several lots. You can now see the plateau in the vicinity of Larimar City and burning. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, like I said, when Christopher was first built out that way, they told me in 2021, they said, oh man, out here, out back, where you drive straight through what he's talking about, out back is going to be some awesome resorts. It ends up being Larimar, Cruise on Land. And there's another one out there. I forgot all about that. There's some renderings on the other side of Christopher. There was a big lot. I don't know if they subdivided it or what, but there was supposed to be something just maybe 100 yards down from Christopher that's supposed to have been some massive property or project, and it never has come to light. So maybe it got changed because they've been holding it all these years. So maybe they sold it off, because at one time you could have bought that thing for 200 grand. Now they want 200 million. Who knows? I mean, it's out of control what they're doing. Still got quote from Opine for 5,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment. There's EV Place. He's telling you like it is. See, ladies and gentlemen, 5,500, 1-bedroom apartment. Meanwhile, you got all these developers. Oh, give me 12 grand, give me 10 grand, give me 15 grand. And I'm like, why? It's just a 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, you're going to have a sofa, a love seat, a kitchen, kind of a kitchen table of some sort, a king size or queen size bed in the bedroom, nightstands. What are we talking about here? How's this 15 grand? How's that 10 grand? I was like, just go to Opane, get specially made stuff. And it's going to cost you less. But when people come stay at your place, they go, whoa, this is cool. And they leave comments and reviews. So it's pretty cool. Economy in disarray, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, hold on. Let me talk. You guys know about manufacturing? Do you know over the weekend about the 1 million less jobs for 2025 that they reported silently? So on one hand, people are like, oh yeah, we did some job numbers, which we all know are bogus. But now they revised down over 1 million jobs for 2025. We already know we're losing manufacturing jobs. We're already losing regular jobs. We already downgraded nurses, healthcare workers to not be in a profession, which now means they don't get the free or the funding to learn new procedures, new medications, new healthcare techniques. They're going to have to pay now, just like teachers. It's a damn shame. What do you think's going to happen? You might not want to go to the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put things in perspective. You take people, that word DEI is so destructive. You literally defund people in the healthcare industry, and then you got nerve to talk about DEI when you know for a fact if a person can't get education for the newest techniques, then that means people are going to be at risk. So why would you do that to the American citizens when you have no plan for health care for all? So now we're going to have more people sick, and you're going to have less people that's going to be properly trained to deal with it with some old school technology. It's like you live in a third world country, but you don't know it yet. Running around with this R for reverse nonsense. This is crazy. All right, let's get back to it. Shall we check them out? Custom made, exactly. Custom made by Opine Furniture in Punta Cana. Tell Joel SSN Nation sent you. Let's go. All right, that's where you get your stuff. Joe Nate, talking with some former colleagues that attended the Munich Security Conference, was I told our country isn't on good standing with several or numerous other countries around the globe. I know, man. I know. The EU, they did what United States has tried to do. They said, hold on, we need to stop ordering any technology from the United States. They're treating the United States like China. We don't know about that technology, man. We can't rely on their technology because if they cut us off, what are we going to do? We don't have any infrastructure for that. So we better stop it and get on with our own stuff. This is what all the countries are going to do. Talk about a world domination going up in flames unnecessarily. When you're the leader and everybody looks at you and you said, hey, let's get the UN together. We're forming that. We got the WHO. We got that. We got everything. We got control of the world currency, and you're our friends, and you're going to make sure all of us stick together. Together, we are the best. Then all of a sudden you go rogue and they all say, hold up, man. We side-eyeing you now. You looking kind of weird, like we went through this in the 1930s and 40s. We know what this feels like. We still have people alive that recognize fascism. Hell no, we don't want to go down this path because we know what's coming next. Because he's going to say, take it or leave it. And we won't have a choice. We're not going to go down that path anymore. So where's our other friends at? And that's where the fraction starts happening, because the other team comes up to you and says, hey, I know we have a common like thought process now. Maybe we can do some business together. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. So what he's saying, I do not disbelieve at all. This is just common sense from an economic standpoint. Just like you should be thinking common sense out here, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been talking about for 5-6 years. Common sense. You don't know what country you live in? It's fine. You want to pretend like you're number one? Fine. When you're not even top 10? Fine. You're top one in murders. You're top one in kidnapping people and incarcerating them. Number one on all those. You ain't number one in education or health or nothing else good. Number one in bad shit. I just have to curse because that's what I feel. It's so disgusting. And Americans are sitting over here like, oh, we're good. You're not good. And the rest of the world is now telling you, based on what's been happening over the last year, you're really not good, because you guys need to check out outside the United States information. See, there's other news outlets that aren't acting like the Russians. They actually tell people what's going on. All right. You know, some of those Epstein files that American citizens haven't seen? Well, guess what? Other countries have them, and other countries' citizens have stuff you guys have never seen. And if you were privy to see some of this stuff, I'm pretty sure Joe Nay has seen it. You would be disgusted to no end. And there ain't no way you're going to be sitting here telling me that these dudes all sitting up there in the cabinet positions, the president, all these guys literally are in there. Literally. I've got some videos that aren't from the US. It's not pretty. In fact, it's so disgusting that I'm just like, man, this is insane right now. I'm just like, oh my God. And by the way, the United States is the only country so far that hasn't done something to the people that have harmed little girls, little boys, torture, rape, kidnapping, killing. Other countries have expelled taking these people out of their power positions. But United States, do you know what country you live in? You guys are getting a dose of it right now. Descendants of the slavery, of the police, the snatchers, all this burning people's houses, burning people up, hanging people, and all that. Those are the descendants doing the same crap. And unfortunately, that's how I look at it. And so I have to talk about it. But here we go. What's up, SSN Nation? Mo Better's in the house. Another investor's here paying attention to that DR convo. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday President's Live Edition. What's up, SSN Nation? What's up, E? We in the building. We worldwide. You guys know how that goes. Got to keep it that way. I love the way Avalon accepts Zelle payments for villas in Texas Chase. You got that right, EV Place. How about you like, you know what? Hold on. Let me go look at something. How about this? Oh, hold on. Let me go look. Let me just go look real quick before I give some accolades that may not be accolades. Like, let me see if they still have it. What I like is, let me see if they still have it. No, they don't have it. What I like is when the developers allowed you to make debit card and credit card payments direct. That's what I liked. And you have a receipt of your payment. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. Maybe it was Noriega. I thought it was Noval. Yeah, it is Noriega. That's what I thought. More developers would go this route. The Noriega developers. Oh, they're not showing it right now. Maybe they stopped. Um oh man. I think it was Noriega. I know it was an N. It was either Noval or Noriega. But that's just it. I'm like, I can't believe yeah, it is Noriega. I can't believe people didn't do this. We accept all traditional payment methods: Visa, MasterCard, American Express. That's Noriega. Who's behind? And oh, by the way, they made the Casa downtown. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. The Casa Resort, one of them, and I can't remember the other second one that's close to. Yeah, Casa Residences is what they did. They have number one's been delivered. Casa two is being built. But yeah, these guys accept payments using normal pay, and they're willing to take the 3.5% or maybe charge you the 3.5. But still, that was cool. Another one of the failures, I feel. But yeah, Avalon, Seven Palms, there's several developers that have banking inside the United States that you can make payments to, which is real cool. That if you don't have that, most of your citizens are from the USA. You should have at least got that. If you're not going to accept credit cards, debit cards, and all that, then you might as well have done that. So that's pretty cool. I do like the Zelle feature from Avalon. Avalon, we're going to find out. They should have delivery by now. What's up with the Avalon guys? That's crazy. All right. What are you guys going to talk? What are you guys going to do for investing? Tomorrow, the stock market opens up. What are you guys out here doing? What's going to happen? Let me hear about it. What do you guys think? You guys going to be in the gold, silver, precious metals? You guys going to be in the top, the Dow Jones again since it dropped down? I love the way Avalon does their thing. Mo Better had to smash that like button on the way in. He gave it a one piece, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. All right. Now, let's get down to business as well, because we need you guys to learn how to do some stock market trading. So the first thing I'm going to do is you need to have some CoinX. Oh, by the way, since you just showed up, there you go, Mo. The bank is MasterCard debit cards in the house with the tap feature, even though they have a metal card. I don't really care about the metal. But that's cool, right? Okay. CoinX for, again, I have this thing about being outside of United States. They use crypto to upload for stock market trading. So please use the CoinX. They do MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, just so you know. They closed their markets, well, some of them, midnight. Now, is that it's midnight London time, UTC. All right. So that's like 5 in the afternoon. Pacific, no, five Eastern, 2 in the afternoon for an hour. Bitcoin can only be traded at MT5. So there you go. All right. So you want to learn how to trade, start with them. They have a demo account. So just set up a demo account, study, use YouTube, study, and then get your account set up, use the demo account. And then, of course, Candlestick Trading Bible. You need to find that one and pay attention. Start studying that way. All right. That starts you out. What's up, Joe Nay from Mo? Better in the house. What's good, Mo? Better. I'm living like a straight champ. I know he is. I know he is. I know he is. Joe Nay, 1 to 1.5%. Wow. Which developers are doing that? Hey, Mo, it was just a matter of time. I told you, man. Everything's coming down like it should. The prices should drop a little. They're going to do in-house financing. Everything's working out beautifully. I didn't see the in-house financing, quite frankly. I said long ago they should have just done it, but there's a risk. There's still a risk to the buyer because the DR guys are still holding your money. That's the developers. And I don't feel like there's a great enough track record for them guys to be holding I'm not trusting them guys. I'm not trusting them because I need a title. The bank makes sure there's a title. Those guys can say there's a title, show me some funky paperwork, kind of maybe a title. But again, that's where I have a problem because I can't trust you. I can't trust any developer. Just saying. Jonah, happy to hear that, my brother. Exactly. He's over there living the life. Eric, how long or how many years are the 1 to 1 year? We don't know. Joe Nay brought it up. I never heard about any of this in-house financing yet. But again, as you know, Mo, I'd be very, very cautious. Look at what's happened with people that's been giving their money for 3 years, 4 years, and then no delivery for another 2, 3 years waiting. And some people didn't get delivery at all. So again, I don't want them guys holding my money under the present configuration. I don't know how it would make me feel better. I mean, how to combat that, but I'm kind of skeptical. I'm not going to sit there and give these guys another 50, 60, 100K. And then later on, it's like, hey, I need my title now. And they're like, we're out of business. We don't have nothing to do with this no more. It's 5 years later, 10 years later. I don't see how this works at all. First of all, as you know, I'm not trusting these dudes with my money no more. Just call it what it is. All right. I don't really care under pre-construction. It's not happening. So again, even though they might have this, I'm not even thinking about letting them dudes hold nothing. Zero. There's only one field where I don't have competition. Analog audio processors. I'm working on Mark II version coming soon. Well, there we go. I'm glad to hear this, man. Jeez, letting that go. I will strongly advise people not to ship nothing over here unless they really, really have to. I did and had to pay a grip. Exactly. Everything changes when you get there. Joe Nay, he's actually tested the waters. He found out everything seems so simple. Oh, have residency, get everything fine. Yeah, okay. Until you got a bunch of hungry people over there saying, I don't think so. Like I said, okay, there's I didn't want to get into this, but I have to because we're talking about the DR. This was like set up for them to just blow it out the park. This was like just handed on a silver platter. And they freaking blew it. Handed a silver platter. All they had to do was do the right thing. Pay citizens on the island. Hold the people accountable for who's collecting money. How simple is this? Regulate the people that's going to be developing, taking people's money, or regulate it. Either way, do something. And you let 8 years reel off and do nothing to protect investors. Not good. Not good. Not good. And you have people with means and money coming to your island, and you're going to screw them over so you can keep a few. And some say, ah, I'm leaving. What am I going to do with this? I mean, let me just sell my stuff and go back to USA or wherever I came from. It doesn't matter. I mean, if I'm going to be treated like this, why am I dealing with this? This is just the way I looked at it, quite frankly. I said, why am I dealing with you guys? I don't have to. I mean, come on, let's get real. But yeah, this is some of the features. There's a feature, not a bug. Because when you have citizens who average wage is like 12 G's a year for most of the people on the island, and this, just like in America, you're not going to have Dominicans saying, "Oh, guess what? I'm going to take over those Haitian jobs working at that construction site." You're not going to have that. Same as in America. You're not going to have American patriots running down to the farmers to go do labor jobs at the farm. Same situation. Same. Same thing happened with our farm. Same thing's happening with developments there. Now, not all developments are the same, but all I'm saying is that weakening and softening of the market is what's going to hurt, like it's hurting right now. I had to pay U.S. Customs $3,000 at the Miami port for a special check. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened? They told me that you can have it shipped over. Jonay, do you mean personal stuff from U.S. when you were moving or new stuff from China? I think it's his stuff because once he got his residency, I believe. So once he has his residency, he was supposed to have, I think it was some sort of minimal shipment coming. If I'm not mistaken, EV place from US, I paid another grip to get my 175-pound service dog over here, plus car, which was shipped in the same container with household goods. Oh man, that's effed up. So the story of all that, any DR customs or duties on personal stuff when you are moving in. Oh, you already paid them. Mo better. Most of the developer loans are being offered for the smaller developments away from the beach. It's for the finale payments. Most of them are 3 to 5 years. Your choice. Yeah, yeah, Jonay. Like I said, here's the thing. Here's the thing. For me, I can't even because basically right now people had delivery like in 2023, right? They had a choice at 0% interest. They could just keep making payments. So now these guys could be going, which I don't know for a fact because I don't know who's doing it. Now they could go, oh yeah, we had delivery in 2023, but for 1% or 2% annually, the remaining balance you can just keep paying us. But I'm like, how am I going to keep paying you when you haven't delivered anything? And I don't even have title. First of all, that's my problem now. I'm like, I can't engage with these guys at all. Like I said, I can't engage with you. I need title. And I'm not going to have title if I have an IOU. So therefore, I can't go through you guys. I have to have I have to have some closing, some third party, which by the way, that's a business in DR that should have come up. There should be a third party that's somehow holding both sides accountable, almost like a closing agent, except a closing agent operates on the existing home structure because they swap the title as a third party. What do you do if the building doesn't exist? See, that's where the problem comes in. That's how this goes. I'm like, so if the building exists, who's holding the paper? Because I am not trusting the developer or anybody else to be holding papers saying, yeah, I have the title and then I'll wait 5 years or 7 years or 10 years for you to pay it off. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not working for me. Just saying. So be very, very careful. Charges what they want with no proof. Just pay what they say or they will keep all your gear. Exactly. This is what moving companies do in the United States, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You think you're moving somewhere? They come and tell you 13 grand. I made a video about it. Then when they show up, it's 25 grand. And if they would have left with your stuff, come to find out, you can Google, come to find out, they park it off in another location. They unload it oftentimes. Then they hold you hostage saying, oh, you owe us another 5 to 10 grand. Third world country stuff. Same thing is happening here in America when people are moving. American citizens. Yes. Third world country. Yes. Same thing. Yes. So I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, yeah, DR is all bad. They do it. I'm like, America does it. So what standard is that? Same thing. Got it. Thanks for the info. Yeah, it's a hostage situation. That's the, even in America, you give somebody your stuff. Now they know you need it. Now they can do whatever they want to you. Some people had their shipping and moving stuff hemmed up in some warehouse for 2 months after they done paid 20, 30 grand. It's just so sick what's happening. EV Place, I guess US CBP do these periodical checks on certain containers. Their choice. I had a 40-foot container. Sure, Joe Nay. Your name wasn't Joe Dominguez. Come on, man. Let's get real. All right, futures market only closed Friday 4 p.m. to Sunday 6 p.m. Yeah, CoinEx doesn't do futures. That's why. Yeah, I know what you mean. Did anybody receive their Robinhood Gold credit card yet? No, I've received mine. Great perks. Not planning on using it. No, I haven't got. Well, wait. No, I haven't gotten mine. Come to think of it. Actually, I'm never going to use it though. Anyhow, just like you, so I don't really care. Mo better at post retirement. What's going on, Mo? When are you getting back in the real estate game? Let's turn up the volume and get into Capcana. I spent a week there and experienced the luxury living. Okay, post retirement travel. I want to hear about this week. So I want to hear, because I have my own points of view. I want to hear what people have to say because I want to hear, did you stay in an all inclusive or did you stay in one of those condo villas or townhouses that's not in the all inclusive? Because I want to hear from you and anybody else who have stayed in Cap Cana where it's not all inclusive. All inclusive, you get a skewed look at what's happening. When you stay out there in the condo or the villa or the townhouse, and now you have to go eat, then you're saying, okay, what else is there to do? I can go to the pool anytime I want, but what else? And you got to pay for your party of four, everything you do, except go to the beach. But hey, I want to hear it. Jonay, I'm using it since a year, 3% cash back on everything. I love it. I had I had my Robin. Oh wait, I do have a Robin Hood. Oh, I put it back up because I was never going to use it. That's what I did. I keep a stack of cards that I don't use, and I just leave them, and then I keep the ones I mostly use on me. So yeah, I forgot I do have a card. What am I thinking? I don't have. It wasn't Robinhood Gold. I don't think it was supposed to change. I'm supposed to have a Robinhood Gold. I don't have a Robinhood Gold while I'm thinking about it. Mine switched up allegedly, but again, I didn't really care because I'm not using it. But hey, 3.5% checking interest. They also offer international transfers, I believe, for free. Come on now. Ton of other. Oh, that's right. Robinhood has banking features now. Yes, yes, yes. You're right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Economy in disarray. Credit is a must. I got to get back to the credit thing. We started this off at the top. Findhelp.org. Smart credit monitoring system helps you decrease your credit. And oh, by the way, I'm in 1 hour and 34 minutes and I forgot something because I forgot about Tracy. She can help people with bad credit. She can get your credit reduced. So you want to make sure you get in contact with her. Everybody on podcasts and around the world, Tracy, Tracy. This is an email address. Tracy.sharpe with an E at the end, SHARPE. Tracy.sharpe at moneyladder.com. Hit her up. She negotiates, or money ladder negotiates, whatever. They negotiate to make sure you can reduce your debt, then make payments. At the end of your term, whether it's 1 year, 1.5, or 2 years, they are going to say you have paid it off in good standing, which now means your credit is relieved and you have relieved yourself of some debt that you can use that money to buy assets. It's very simple. At least there's a plan. So you go see Tracy, all right? It's that simple. Email her. Sorry, you don't see her. But here's the email. I put it in the chat room in several locations. It will be down below in the description box as well. So don't forget that. All right. So, and then of course, there's a video when she worked for another company and she can explain what she did there. She loves doing this. So let her know Eric Familia told you to go talk to her. All right. Don't file bankruptcy. Don't deal with the debt collectors. All right. Don't do none of that. Just get your debt reduced like you're a millionaire. Okay? Simple. That'll help you out greatly because if you can free up at least another 100 or 200 or 300 or 500 or $1,000, you can use that money to invest. All right. Okay. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. Economy's in disarray. Again, if you guys don't know, job reports was revised down by 1 million. Manufacturing jobs are going down. Farms are going out of business. Transportation companies going out of business. All these are at record highs. Sooner or later, livable wage jobs. And oh, by the way, today I'm talking with another, R for reverse person. And they started saying things that were crazy. And I was just like, where are you getting this stuff at, right? Let me see something real quick. And so once I start getting engaged with some things, it came out to where, oh man, the conversation was something about minimum wage. So they said, oh, minimum wage wasn't built to make people be able to afford a house or whatever. And I said, well, actually, it wouldn't have been a problem if you would have, over the last 50 years, let me just put the blame where it is. If the GOP would have ever allowed themselves to vote to raise the minimum wage, I mean, why keep it the same? So if based on that number, you would have been able to. But the point I'm trying to make is this. So then I said to the guy, explain something to me then. Forget about this minimum wage nonsense you're talking about. How many people make over $100,000 per year? Oh, and by the way, so I got to do a mathematical thing right now, real quick, right? $2,000 per month. Okay? 2,000, right? Per week divided by 40. That's $50 an hour, ladies and gentlemen. That is 8,000 a month. That's $100,000 per year. How many people do you think in America makes $100,000 a year or more? There's 350 plus million Americans. Surely you don't think it's 200 million, right? Or does somebody think? Let me know in the comments section. Wherever you're watching, let me know in the comments section. What do you think? I want to hear what you think. I know you can Google it right now but just let me know. How about 100 and half of the people make 100,000? So needless to say, I had to, bounce something off this dude's head and say, hey, dude, you understand that there's less or about 100 million people that make $100,000 or more. That means you have 250 million people who make Less than that. Well, here's where the problem comes in, because then I had to shoot him a map of how much it costs to live in American states on average. And $50 is not covering all 50 states per hour. $45 per hour is livable wage job, ladies and gentlemen. So if people make less than 45 an hour, you can't afford to live in America. Just saying. So the nonsense about minimum wage is BS. You need to make a hell of a lot more than that. And there's no way you can get yourself out of it either, because you don't have the jobs in America that's going to pay you 100, 150, 120 for 200 million people. Do you know where you live? Good luck, Americans. All right. This is why I started talking about getting your credit right, because this is why you're going to have to use credit down the line at 0% for years if you can get it. So you first got to dig your way out of debt and get a 775 credit score, because, hey, even if you go along your journey, a 700, 720, 730 can get you zero for 18 months, zero for 24 months. Take that. Why are you going to give your debt, your credit, the debtors, why are you going to give these guys 25, 35, 38, 20%? Why? When you don't have to. Do you understand 20% on the average of, what is it, 5,000, 6,500 is the average debt for a person? Do you understand you're paying $100 to $150 per month just in interest? And since you can only pay like the minimum or bare minimums, you're going to keep paying that. So basically, it just keeps going, and it's compounding, by the way. So again, your whole balance just keeps going and going and going. And then when you get that letter at the end of the year and they say, oh, your interest rate was 24.99, but now it's 26.99 due to inflation. You see how this goes, ladies and gentlemen. It goes very, very bad. So now you need to start concentrating on that 0% for a late 18-month payment, 0% for a year, whatever you can do to get it reduced. And that means you are required to do the Dave Ramsey, reduce your debt. That's the only way around it. All right. And then that'll free up some money. All right. Here we go. Jonay says, get your coin together, pay off your debt. Like Eric says, have a place to bounce to. Trust me, it's going to be a rough next 2 years for the U.S. SCOTUS makes tariffs decision this Friday. It's going to hurt. Yeah. I, I don't, it's against I don't even understand what we're doing here anymore. SCOTUS is supposed to be going by the Constitution. According to the Constitution, Congress has to set tariffs. You have to go through them. So by rights, SCOTUS should not even have an exception. It should just be no tariffs. What are we talking about here? Congress, GOP, you're the majority. You got to do your job if you want tariffs. Go for it. But I know what they're going to do. They're going to probably give some exception that there's no law that they're not supposed to be making new law. They're supposed to be upholding the law. Congress is supposed to be making the new laws. And so therefore, this is an upside down, non-constitutional republic that we have right now, if they're going to do what they've been doing. These stays, like they might do a stay, revert it back down to the lower court. So that means a stay means they stay in place. You guys understand that, right? That's what they've been doing with holding people that they've kidnapped up, saying it's a stay that we're going to allow this to go on. So then we're going to revert that down. And so now it gets to continue. That's their new program. Hopefully this isn't the same, because tariffs, Americans pay for those. American businesses pay for those. Meanwhile, OP and Furniture out there, EV Place, he said it right, getting 1 bedroom custom made furniture for $5,500 because they don't have 20, 30, 40% tariffs. You see how that works? Imagine that. Can you imagine going to a furniture store in America and going in there and saying, yeah, I want this custom dining room table. I want this custom sofa. I want this custom insert that goes into my bedroom and wall and all this stuff in my living room and a TV, and I wanted special colors. And you come out of the place and say, yeah, man, I only paid $7,500. You will not get that in no American furniture company store. What I just described would cost you damn near $25,000, $30,000. Beds are charged 2, 3, 4 grand. Let's get real. Sofas, 2, 3 grand. Like, I'm like, what are you guys doing in here? Okay, never mind. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be out of here in a second. But get yourselves in order. I gave you some tools. Just make sure you use them. Once you're inside Cap Cana, you don't need to leave for anything. They have the marinas, the beaches, the restaurants, the casino, the nightclubs, the pub, bars, villages, golf course. Hey, hold on. Hold on, post-retirement travel. Did you just say marinas, beaches? I know they have that anywhere. Restaurant, they have that anywhere. Because see, they have that night, they have that pubs, bars, village. I get you. They have that everywhere. Uh, okay, here's the thing. I know they have all that, but you pay for all this. All of this, what you just said, you're paying. I can pay that anywhere in DR. I can be downtown and still do all this. I mean, other than if you say, okay, I'm in Capcana, but I'm a quarter mile to a half a mile over in Capcana, okay, the beach is not easily accessible. But if I'm down by the beach, yes, it's accessible. But the point I'm trying to make is I pay for all that anyhow, wherever I stay. That's not special to me. I don't need to be paying a premium, is the way I look at it. Some people will pay the premium, though. And a lot of people do because they want to stay in this environment because it's upscale luxury. Let's call it what it is. Um, and it's a big and it's not done. It's not. It's going to take them another 50 years to do that. They have so many hectares. It's its own city in reality, and it's just going to keep growing. Well, it all depends on what happens with the U.S. and Canada and the rest of the world. So the growth is only sustainable by outside investments, and the hotels and all that. If their occupancy rate continues to drop this year, which I expect it to go below 75, then it becomes not profitable to build new resorts at these 300 million, 500 million, $200 million price tags. So it's going to get dicey the way I see it. And so this could also make it very interesting where deals are going to come up and then there'll be a revitalization later. So watch for the deals coming up in this year, starting now and next year for delivered properties that are in resale that are only going to be a year old, 2 years old. Watch for those. There'll be opportunities that way for other investments. All right. Because what it is you need to buy lower. I believe that property that Post Retirement Travel was looking at, I believe it was, what was it, 250K for studio, right? I think that's what it was. So just think about that. That's, there's, I mean, just go to airroi.com. You can go to Capcana, look at the map, move it down to Capcana. You'll see all kind of properties. You can get the occupancy rates for Airbnb. And some people are on Airbnb, VRBO, and other locations, Vacata, a bunch of places. So therefore, just because it shows that, let's say a person could have 20% occupancy on Airbnb, maybe they have another 20% occupancy on VRBO. We don't know. But all I'm saying is most people are on Airbnb. So if most are, and I see people with whether it's 80% occupancy, 50, 20, or 10, and I'm in an area and I can keep seeing numbers That's all I need to know, because I'm sitting there going, okay, if this is 30%, if this is 10%, if this is 15%, if there's an 80 percenter, where's that 80%, 85% persons? Where are they? Most of the time, you know where they're going to be. Ocean view, close to the water. There are some people interior wise, because of their $350 for the week, start that $70 all in per night. And they can be in a 1 or 2 bedroom, but it's interior, nowhere near the beach. People are taking that up, which is like Jardines. You go look at Jardines, and there's people that, because they bought their stuff at like 50,000, 60,000, 70 grand, they're sitting there being able to charge people 350 for a week, and they're pretty good. So if you can get 40, 50, 60%, somewhere in that range occupancy, not all, there was some that have, 10 or 15, 20%, but other people had 70, 80%. If you can get 50 or more, it's a win. A huge win, quite frankly, for spending 70 grand or less. So just saying, some people have advantages right now, and that advantage is not going to go away. So the people who buy now are going to pay twice. Well, not in Jardines area, but I'm talking about in Cap Cana. In 2020, there's 1 bedrooms at Cap Cana that was 135 grand. They sold by phone within a few days. And it's less than 100 yards from the ocean, from uh, Juanillo Beach. It was actually on the golf course. Simple condo unit, 4 floors high, sold out just like that. And it was 135 grand. Can you imagine? Those things now have to be what, 250, 300? I mean, and some of them had ocean view. So unless they put a building in front across the way, I don't know. But the point is, that's where this goes, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. So we'll talk about this another time. We'll talk about it on Wednesday night, post retirement travel. I'll do some other research, but all I'm saying is I don't like, really, it's upscale luxury. Yes. 5-star resorts, all inclusives, golf courses. It gives that upscale luxury vibe. Yes. But the only problem I have with this is when I go to an island, I can do everything that I can do there, I can do somewhere else. So either I'm just a rich guy and I want to hang there, or I'm just going to hang wherever it's more reasonable. Why pay uh, 3 grand just to stay somewhere when I can stay 1 grand and still in a cool spot? Which is what's going to happen, quite frankly, because all these things you said, take away the casino, the marinas, and the beaches. What you just have here is just like Vistacana and downtown. They have nightclubs, man-made beaches, of course, lakes, golf courses, horseback riding, excursions. That's the point, right? That's where I go. When we go to an island, it's kind of like, I've told people this many times. I told you guys this before. People would go, "Hey, I want ocean view." I say, "Cool. It's 2,800 for the week, 3,300 for the week, right? Cool. 2 bedroom, whatever." Then they say, "I have my family coming, so we want to do these things, horseback riding, da da, and all this stuff." I said, "Well, um, I I can get you something that's 2 blocks from the beach, and you can pay 1,700, 1,500 for the week. Save yourself 1,500, 1,700. Use that to go to all these little excursion things you want to do." And then all of a sudden their mind starts like, "Yeah, he's right. I can just walk to the beach. I don't need to be away right there. I can, and I get all this extra, this stuff that I want to do without just paying for the accommodations and then still paying for those places." So that's generally how I used to just tell people. Now, some people would call up and say, "Well, I want to stay at the West End at the Dang. Okay. You want to pay 3,200 for a studio at Westin Maui? Fine. Fine. And it has ocean view? Fine. Great. Fine. But after, you know, it gets where are you staying in your room to watch the ocean? I mean, like, you're not. But yet you're going to overpay for no reason. It doesn't make any sense. But some people do it. Those people in the top 20% that save their money for the vacation, swipes their card, some people don't care. But most people nowadays are starting to realize they better start caring because by the time they come back home, they don't know how much everything's going to cost. Even if you leave a week or two, you come back, you're like, wait, I don't remember my bills being this much. It starts getting crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like what we do. And I love you guys very much. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why you should pay attention to everything you have to do. And you have to pay attention to your government too. These guys are doing all kind of things to disrupt what used to be a somewhat solid economy, a solid system. So you knew that you would be covered if something happened to you, your loved ones. Now you may not be covered. You may not, if a hurricane comes, FEMA's coming. You may not have insurance is going to be paying. There's no control over anything going on that can happen to American citizens other than more money out of your wallet. And some people are tapped out. A lot of people are tapped out. So just keep all of that in mind. All right. And with all that said, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's only going to get harder. So we got to try and do something. But just keep driving, trying, striving, because there's no way out. You're in the matrix. And with all that said, make sure you stay safe. People are under stress and duress. So, of course, people are going to respond accordingly. But make sure, above all, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.